And so you say to yourself, I'm going to reach out to these 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 people, and they're all going to need exactly what I do. And I'm going to hit my shot with my initial message out. And it's literally going to land right in their inbox at the right time in their world when they understand that they have the problem that you solve, or the thing that you serve is the exact thing that they need or they want. And then they're going to immediately say yes. Good morning, Sales Ascender! Today, we got a hot question that came in from Pam. Pam asks this. She says, Sean, what should my mindset be when prospects are rude? So if you've ever been in the game, right, you know that prospecting is a real thing. Prospecting is a good thing. A lot of people have this bad perception of, oh, I don't want to prospect because I'm bugging people, or I'm upsetting other people, or I'm doing things to annoy somebody. Well, when in fact, the mindset shift should be, I'm reaching out to serve somebody and make an impact in their world, to change what they're doing so that they can actually have bigger impact with the service or the product that you offer. The first big cataclysmic shift that we need to talk about is when you're getting beat down, and everybody does. I've been beat down. I'm sure you've been beat down. If you're in that prospecting game, like, people are just leery. People have their guard way up. Nobody can deny this. This is a big part of why people say, oh, I don't want to do sales because I don't want to bug people, right? Well, in fact, there's a couple of things that I just wanted to cover that I think are important for everybody to know. So what should my mindset be when prospects are rude? Well, first of all, if you're prospecting, Pam, congratulations. That's dope. Like, just the fact that you're actually out doing the work, that's a big step in the right direction. So when they're rude to you, a couple of things you want to think about. First of all, they took the time to read your message and then throw some shade back at you, right? So there's 2 types of people that are going to do that. One of them, they're going to be testing limits. It's like that movie, Jurassic Park, right? And you have those fences that go around the cage, around all the dinosaurs. And like, the dinosaurs want to get out of the cages. So what do? They like test the cages. So like, they'll throw a rock, or they'll kick, or they'll hit it with their head, or they'll do something to test and see that these electrical fences are actually like going to stop them from getting out. And then they learn a new language. Similar with your prospects, when you throw an initial prospecting message out at somebody, that's okay. It's a good thing. And literally, they're going to come back and either test it. They're going to test your validity. They're going to test your credibility. They're going to start testing your worth. And so the first group of people is going to be the people that might say, ah, man, like, I don't want to join your group, or I don't want to look at your podcast, or I'm not interested in that. Well, they took the time to actually write that back to you. So understand the journey that they've been through. Where are they coming from? Now, depending on what you sell and where you're at, like, it's interesting if they came back and they actually replied to you. You don't have any idea, because it's basically, if you're reaching out for the very first time, you don't have any idea what's going on in their head, what's happening in their world. They probably have a lot of emotional baggage sitting on them. Most people do, and it's okay. It's not their fault. It's just the way life is, right? We can all agree on this. And so when they get the message that you are prospecting to them, it just might be like bad timing just a little bit for them. And they're like, oh, not another one, or oh, like whatever they're feeling there. And then they're going to rip back at you as a keyboard warrior and say, yo, man, this is not good, or blah, or whatever. And they're going to test that cage, right? So the first thing to remember is when prospects are rude, don't wear it. Understand that they came to the party speaking to you. So they spoke with you, but they may have a lot of other baggage that's weighing on them. And that's okay, right? Because you're just starting a conversation. The first message should never be, hey, do you want to get married? Hey, do you want to buy my stuff? Hey, do you want to do that? No, that won't work ever, right? The first message needs to be a straight up move to open the conversation. And once you've opened the conversation, then you can start to get the facts and bring them out, and then start actually having a really good conversation. So when they're rude, again, there's 2 kind of types of people. The one person is you, hate you, type me like, yeah, I'm interested. That's actually a problem I have. Let's move forward. And then boom, you've got a great conversation going. The second bucket's going to be the people that said, no, I'm not interested in your stuff. I don't want to join your group. I don't want to do all this stuff, whatever they're going to say to you, right? And that's okay. But remember, they came from a different place. They may have a lot of emotional baggage, but they took the time to write back to you. What does this say? This tells you that literally they are interested in, and they just are trying to test the fence. So think about the dinosaur trying to break through the electrical fence, right? And then the third type of person, and maybe this is who you are, is going to be that person that says, you know what, like, I'm not into that. Like, it's not a problem that I need solved right now. I'm just going to ignore the message. And again, that's okay too, right? So you're going to have the yeses, I'm in. You're going to have the people that are testing the electrical fence and testing your credibility and validity. And then you're going to have the people that just ignore you. That's the three buckets that happen when you prospect, and that's totally okay. So if we go into a prospecting session knowing you're going to get some people that are going to be rude, and it's okay. You're going to get some people that are going to be like, yes, I want to learn about your stuff. That's awesome. And then you're going to get the people that ignore you. That's okay. Like, not a problem, right? And we just have to be able to have the shield or the armor on us that allows us to kind of walk through this. So the first part of the tactical takeaway that I want to share today is this. So in golf, right? So when you go into a prospecting session, one of the things we need to adjust in our mindset is think about golf for a second. If you've ever played golf or maybe you watch golf on TV, there's this thing called a pre-shot routine. Right now, if you know what a pre-shot routine is, drop a comment below. But if you don't, here's what it is. So when the pros go, or even when you're kind of a novice and getting into an amateur status of golfing, before you hit the ball, like, or maybe you're staying on the tee and you put your ball in the tee box. And then you're like, okay, and you're looking down the hole and you can see where that hole is going to go. And you know, you're looking down the hole and you say, okay, there's the green and there's the fairway. And so what's the thing that all the pros do? The pros say, okay, I'm going to take a second and stand behind my ball that's on the tee box. I'm going to visualize exactly where this ball needs to go. I'm going to visualize exactly the ball flight, the trajectory, how I'm going to hit it, what the swing is going to feel like. Basically, they walk through the perfect outcome in their mind. And they know I'm going to go up there and I'm going to execute just what I felt in my mind first. And literally, they'll go up and they'll swing, boom, and they'll hit that shot exactly the way they want. So that's awesome. That's why pros do a lot better than the most average golfers. And here's what the average golfers do compared to the pros. If you're an average golfer, you're going to put your ball in the tee box, you're going to step up, maybe take a practice swing, you're going to look down the hole and you're going to say, oh man, there's water on the right. Oh man, there's woods, big trees and forest on the left, and then there's a sand trap. Well, dang, don't hit it in the water. Don't hit it in the sand trap. Take your swing. Now you're mentally all frustrated and you go up and you swing, and guess where the ball's going to go? It's either going to go right into the water or it's going to go right into the woods or right into that sand trap. And the difference between pros and amateurs in golf is literally that mindset before you start even moving to take an action. And so the same thing applies when you come to a prospecting session. Set a time limit. Like most people, they say, oh, I'll go do prospecting, and they never take the fundamental pieces that are necessary, right? So the first thing is this: if you are going to do a prospecting session, set yourself a goal so that you know you're done. That's the big move. So the first thing is say, I'm going to go and reach out to 5 new people, 3 new people, 10 new people, whatever the number is. Write it down on your piece of paper or your notes or whatever you're doing. And that becomes the goal for today's immediate prospecting session if that's what you're doing. Secondly, you say, okay, what is the best outcome? So I know that I'm going to take about an hour. So set yourself a time limit. I'm going to reach out to 5 people, right? These 5 people are going to have the right filter criteria. So I'm going to go search for 5 minutes. I'm going to start sending my messages right away, whatever the process is that you walk through. Okay. So you set all that stuff up. So you have an outcome, you know, I'm going to do it for an hour and I'm going to reach out to this many people. That's your goal. That's your prospecting session. Now you can make it a finite amount of time, and it's not going to take all the time in your day of your calendar to do all of this, right? So you have that part set. The next thing we do is we say, okay, what is the perfect outcome? Just like that pre-shot routine in golf, if I know the best thing I can do is I can go and find the right person and I can hit that shot right down the middle of the fairway and it's going to land right there next to the green, so I can go up and I can hit it in the hole. Perfect. So in sales, when you're doing prospecting, have the same approach. We set an outcome, we set a goal, we set a time limit, and now what's the outcome? I'm going to reach out to 5 people, and every single person, and you think to yourself, the right people, I'm attracting the right people that need my services and products. You close your eyes, you think through this, like really vividly imagine this. The more you can imagine this, the more vivid you can get, the faster the results will come. I promise. It's weird how that works. It's like that 5th dimensional thing. And so you say to yourself, I'm going to reach out to these 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 people, and they're all going to need exactly what I do. And I'm going to hit my shot with my initial message out. And it's literally going to land right in their inbox at the right time in their world when they understand that they have the problem that you solve, or the thing that you serve is the exact thing that they need or they want. And then they're going to immediately say yes. So when I go into a prospecting session, this is exactly what I do. So like I literally think right down that fairway is exactly what I'm aiming for and what I'm looking for. And so then I start, right? And then I walk up and I'm going to hit the shot. Boom, boom. And that's good, right? So now you know where the mindset needs to be when you do a prospecting session, when prospects are rude. The last part of this question is like, so I gave you a little bit of a pre-shot routine of what I do when I do a prospecting session. But then the other part is the part when they're rude. So let's imagine just for a second that you're flying a helicopter. Of course, maybe you've always wanted to fly a helicopter. That's cool. Give me a second. So you're up in your helicopter, badass helicopter. If you remember Airwolf, like that was my favorite helicopter of all times. Came out of a volcano, it was super cool. Well, it had there was a layer for the, anyway. You're in your helicopter and you're flying around, and all of a sudden you fly next to the coast, okay? And all of a sudden there's a river that runs, and then there's this town that you live in. So imagine you're flying your helicopter over your town, and all of a sudden the river levels start to rise and the water starts to come up. And then you're looking down and you're like, your favorite house on the corner, the red house on the corner with the white picket fence, like it starts filling and flooding. And you see the people like, oh my God. And everyone's running around like crazy. And they climb up to the roof, and they're on the roof and they're like, help, I see a helicopter. And you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm flying my helicopter. And behind you in the back seat of your helicopter, you have your team. You got Joe and Sue and Scott. Right? And Joe and Sue and Scott are expert rescue people, and they're on your team. And so now you're flying your helicopter and you got your team and you got all the gear to actually help people. And you're like, boom, and you're looking around, you see that little red house with the white picket fence, and you're like, oh man, like those are my friends. That's Kyle and Scott. And you're like, oh, what am I going to do? And then next thing you know, you fly a little bit further and you see, oh, there's another house and there's all these other people on top. You're like, okay, I got to do something. And the water level continues to rise. Now it's over the first level of all the houses. Everyone's flooded. People are going crazy. And there's some people on the roof. What do? Well, you're hovering above these people and you say, hey guys, let's dispatch right here. There's a bunch of people right there on that roof. We can't lower the bucket quite next to the roof because there's some power lines that we don't want to hit. So then you're like flying your helicopter and you say, go. And these guys get in the bucket and they come down into the water. And they're sitting in their little rescue bucket and they're like, hey guys, we're over here. We can't come to the house. We need this way. And then there's going to be three groups of prospects, right? So you're going to have the first group that's like, yes, I'm getting out of here. And they're going to take the plunge and they dive into the water and they start swimming as fast as they can towards you. Boom, boom, boom. And they get to your brass. You're like, please help me. And they grab onto your bucket and your team pulls them on and then raises them up. And now they're in your helicopter and they're safe. So that's the first group. That's the people that are raising their hand saying, I understand that you can help me. I'm swimming my ass towards you right now so you can get me out of this flood, out of this bad situation, out of this place. Okay? Those are the right people that you want to find. The second group of people are going to be the people that are going to be rude. They're going to be like either waiting in the water or maybe standing on the ledge of the roof, looking at your helicopter and just being suspicious. And they're suspicious of you and they're saying, man, I don't trust red helicopters. I don't trust black helicopters. I don't trust helicopters that don't have like the police stuff on them. I don't trust the people in the bucket. I don't know if that cable is safe. These are all your testing, right? So this is where that like, hey, are you a real helicopter? Are you a real rescue crew? And they're sacrificing their safety, their health, their well-being, their move forward in their business or in their life because they're questioning what you do. And that's okay. They just need to understand that there's some credibility there. There's some other things that you have that you can actually serve those people. But your team's in the bucket and you're looking at these people and you're like, hey, swim over here. We can't come closer. And if those people don't jump in, guess what? You can't help them. And then there's going to be the third bucket of people. The third bucket of people are those people that are sitting on the rooftop. They're hugging along that chimney and they're going, no way at all am I ever going to get in a helicopter. I would rather drown. Okay. Well, we know where they stand. That's their prerogative. If they don't understand that they need the help and they don't understand they need to stand up and walk to the edge past the person that's like skeptical, jump in the water and start swimming your way, don't waste your time, right? It always applies to prospecting. You're going to have those people that are definitely raising their hand and swimming towards you. You're going to have those people that are going to continue to throw shade and be rude, right? That's okay. Have a conversation with them. Ask them questions. They came into the conversation with a bunch of baggage and you don't know where they started from. So once you get onto common ground, you can start to have a real conversation. And then there's going to be that last bucket of people that don't trust helicopters and don't even want your product or service, or don't even know because their eyes are shut. Maybe they're so far into their business, they'll never pull themselves out. And a lot of sales professionals or traditional sales people, before you come, it goes sales people, sales professional, sales ascender is the process. And so those traditional salespeople are like spending all their time with the one that's hugging on to the chimney when there's 2.3 billion people per day active on pretty much any of the social channels, specifically Facebook, right? So why would we spend time working with somebody that's hugging to a chimney versus these people? There's 5 people that's swimming rapidly towards you to get out of the water and change their lifestyle. Those people are going to serve you as the owner of the business way better. You're going to be able to serve them at a much higher level because they're willing, hungry, and eager to get involved with what you're doing. And then so when you get through that group of people, then the next focus is going to be the ones that are a little bit rude, are a little bit skeptical, but they did reply to you because they took the time to reply. So maybe they're interested, but maybe they just got a lot of what got on their head. And so this is the thing that I wanted to share, Pam. I hope this answers your question. It should answer it very thoroughly. Is like, just remember kind of the 3 buckets of people. Right. And so when you go into a prospecting session, the first thing is get your mindset right. What is the exact perfect outcome that you're looking for? And what's the time limit and what's the amount of effort and energy you're going to put into your prospecting session today? And then you have the outcome in your mind. And that's all you think about. Do not think about the water. Do not think about the woods or the sand trap or any of that other hazards around what could possibly happen. Don't think about that. Just focus on the thing that you want, the outcome that you're looking for, and then go do the work. Get it done. And you're going to have, if you reach out to 10 people, you're probably going to have 3 people that raise their hand and they're rapidly swimming towards you. Start there. That's awesome. Maybe you're going to have 1 or 2 people that are hesitant. They replied. They're a little bit rude. That's okay. This is the next group that you work with. And then those last group, that last like 3 to 4 or 5 people that are hugging to the chimney, they're not a fit for you. And that's okay. Right. And if we go into prospecting sessions knowing this, prospecting becomes fun and it becomes awesome. You can start to game it, and you guess what? You're going to start to win. You're going to make more money, more profit, more revenue. And if that's what you're looking for, guys, that's why it's so important to spend time doing prospecting every single day. And by the way, prospecting is a very high value. Nobody can argue that, but it can be a low skill thing, right? Most people don't understand prospecting actually can become a system. It's not always on the entrepreneur. And so if you're interested in learning more about systems that help with prospecting or actually do it for you kind of a thing, just drop a comment below, jump into our inner circle. If you're not already in there, again, it's just facebook.com/groups/sales ascenders inner circle. Get yourself an invite. We're pretty particular on who we ask to join our tribe. But if you are a B2B owner and you basically have been around in business for at least a year and you're looking for a way to truly grow your business with a system that can actually serve you, let me know, because we do that pretty well. So I hope this was a valuable high ticket tune-up for you. I love this topic. I think it's a very valuable one for a lot of people. And when you get your mindset right, you're going to win every single time.